let's do some breathing this morning. I'm gonna do we've already done I'm gonna do the water faucet. Okay, you ready? Breathe in as we turn the water faucet, and then breathe out as the water comes out. Ready? Again. Good job. Now, I want to tell you something. If you're feeling mad or sad when you're at home, you can do those breathing exercises at home to help you calm down. You can do smile, take a deep breath, and relax. Or you can do the balloon. Or you can do the faucet that we did today. But you can take that to kind of take a minute so that you don't feel quite so mad or sad. All right, this morning I got another book for us to read about a seed. This book is called The Tiny Seed. Look at tiny. What letter does that start with? Tiny. T, right. And seeds, S. So here's the front cover. Here's the back cover. Here's the spine. And here is the title page. The Tiny Seed is the title. Title is another word for what? The name of the book, right? It is autumn and a strong wind is blowing. It blows flower seeds high in the air and carries them far across the land. One of the seeds is tiny, smaller than any of the others. Will it be able to keep up? And where are they all going? One of the seeds flies higher than the others. Up it goes. It flies too high, and the sun's hot rays burn it up. The tiny seed sails on with the others. Another seed lands on a tall mountain. It is too icy, and the ice never melts, and the seed cannot grow. So we found out it can't be too hot, and it can't be too cold. Now the seeds are flying over the ocean. One seed falls into the water and drowns. The others sail on with the wind, but the tiny seed does not go as high as the others. So there's a seed that fell in the water, and if it gets too wet, it can't grow. It does need some water, but it can't have too much water. One seed drifts down onto the desert where it is hot and dry. And the seed cannot grow because it doesn't have enough water. Ooh. Can't be too hot, can't be too cold, can't be too hot, too wet, can't be too dry. How do they ever grow? All right, the tiny seed goes along with the others. Finally, the wind stops and the seed falls gently to the ground. A bird comes by and eats one seed. The tiny seed is not eaten because the bird didn't see it. Now it is winter, and look, there's a mouse down under the ground. This is snow, and this is a mouse under the ground. After their long trip, the seeds settle down. They look just as if they're going to sleep in the earth. Snow falls and covers them like a soft white blanket. A hungry mouse that also lives in the ground eats a seed for his lunch, but the tiny seed lies very still, and the mouse does not see it. Now it is spring, and spring is what we're in right now because remember it was cold and we had to wear our coats and gloves outside, but now it's getting warm and the days are getting longer. After a few months, the snow has melted. It is really spring. Birds fly by, the sun shines, the rain falls. The seeds grow so round and full they start to burst open a little bit. Remember how our seeds soaked up the water and then the seed coat burst open? Now they are not seeds anymore, they are plants. First they send roots down into the ground. And we looked at ours. Ours have roots right now. We're going to go look at them in a minute. There's another plant. Their little stems and leaves begin to grow toward the sun. And there's another plant that grows much faster. It is a big fat weed, and it takes all the sunlight and the rain away from one of the small new plants. And that little plant dies because it didn't get enough light. That weed got in its way. When somebody says they're going to weed the garden, that means they're going to pull out the weeds so that the plants you want to have can grow. The tiny seed hasn't begun to grow yet. It will be too late, hurry. But finally, it too starts to grow a new plant. The warm weather also brings the children out. Uh-oh, look what happens to this one. They have been waiting for the sun in springtime. One child doesn't see the plants as he runs along. Oh, he breaks one and it cannot grow anymore. The tiny plant that grew from a tiny seed is growing fast, but its neighbors grow even faster than before. The tiny plant has 3 little leaves, but the other plant has 7. And look, a bud, and now even a new flower. But what is happening? First there are footsteps, then a shadow looms down, and then a hand reaches over and breaks off the flower. But they're going to take it inside and put it in a vase. Now it is summer. Now the tiny plant from the tiny seed is all alone. It grows on and on. It doesn't stop. The sun shines on it and the rain waters it. It has many leaves. It grows taller and taller. It is taller than all the people. It is taller than the trees. It is taller than the houses. And now a flower grows on it. People come from far and near to look at this flower. It is the tallest flower they have ever seen. It is a giant flower. Okay, now it looks like a make-believe story because I've never seen a giant flower. Now it is autumn again. The days grow shorter, the nights grow cooler, and the wind carries yellow and red leaves past the flower. Some of the petals drop from the giant flower and they sail along with the bright leaves over the land and down to the ground. So see, some of the flowers the petals are coming off, and the leaves and the petals are flying on the wind. And what do you think is going to happen? The wind blows harder. The flower has lost almost all of its petals. It sways and bends from the wind, but the wind grows stronger and shakes the flower. Once more, the wind shakes the flower, and this time the flower's seed pod opens, and out come many tiny seeds that will blow away, and it starts all over again. Remember after the seeds blew and one got too close to the sun and it got too hot, and one got on the mountain and got too cold, and one fell in the water and it was too wet, and one fell in the desert and it was too dry? It's starting all over again. All right, the end.